Hello everybody, and welcome to another HustleNHoops team breakdown. Today, we're going to be talking about the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, let's just jump right into it with their core four. We got Joel Embiid, who year after year has positioned himself to be in the MVP conversation, and so far this year has continued to do so. Next to him, you got James Harden. He is an elite playmaker who still can give you a 20-piece. For sure. And then you got Tyrese Maxey, who has been amazing, absolutely excellent in his 20 or so games. Same with James Harden, shooting amazing from three. Then you got Tobias Harris. Yeah, they're 8th in offensive rating at 114, 4th in defensive rating at 110. This team, being top 10 in both offensive and defensive rating, you can't sit here and deny that from them. They are 10th in field goal percentage and 4th in three-point percentage at 37.8. They have surrounded Joel with a lot of offensive weapons. A lot of guys who can take it off the dribble and a lot of guys who can shoot. And that is all that Joel needs. That's it. Throw a few wing defenders in there, and you're good. 28th in rebounding. You might need a backup center. Now, when looking at their play type, they were 2nd in isolation possessions at 12.2 and 7th in points per possession. It's Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and James Harden and Tobias Harris. I'm not expecting them to have a super fluid offense. Now, something that is extremely fluid for this Philly team is their pick and roll. They were 1st in pick and roll man possessions and 12th in points per possession. Joel Embiid is going to just run you over with screens, literally. Not in the sense of physically running you over, but in the sense of he will do it over and over and over and over and over again. Now, they were bottom 10 for off-screen, cut, and handoff possessions, so not much I can say there other than the fact that, their shooters aren't necessarily movement shooters, and other than Furkan, and like I said, you don't really have a super fluid offense with tons of off-ball movement, so is what it is. Shooting efficiency wise, they're 3rd in catch and shoot field goal percentage, 3rd in catch and shoot 3-point percentage. They were 9th in pull-up field goal percentage, which has dropped a little bit from last time I looked. They were tied 3rd in post touch points and tied 3rd in elbow touch points. Again, it's Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris. These guys are gonna face you up and get most of their points from the elbow, or at least start most of their possessions from the elbow. So, it's not too much of a surprise that those guys are doing that. Now, when looking at some individual performances, James Harden, in his 20 or so games, is averaging 11 assists. That's, if he were playing every game and playmaking at that level every game, that would be league best. Tyrese Maxey, like I said, is coming in and shooting really, really well from the field, continuing to attack and just be a solid secondary, tertiary option for Joel Embiid. DeAnthony Melton has been huge, which, everyone could have seen that coming. If you were watching Memphis Grizzlies basketball, then you knew DeAnthony Melton got it like that. Shake Milton is having a good year. Georges Niang is having an excellent year, shooting 41% from 3 on over 5 attempts, on over 5.5 attempts actually. MT Steibel is okay. I'm not watching every Philly minute, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know everything about this team. But what I can tell you is I know a lot about this month. We're about to talk about Joel Embiid. It's time for your deep dive. Now, we all know Joel Embiid is one of the most dominant post presences we have in the game right now. 96th percentile in points per shot, 92nd percentile in points per possession, 91st percentile in stable spot up points per possession, 87th percentile in stable PNR roll man points per possession, 94th percentile in stable ISO points per possession, 92nd percentile in stable off-screen points per possession, and 99th percentile in stable post-up points per possession. Joel is going to face or post you up, isolate, get a bucket, and then get a stop at the other end. Once he has you sealed in the post, it's simply a matter of seconds between the dump in, a spin cycle of pivots, head and ball fakes, jabs, and then all of a sudden the ball is in the hoop and you're on your ass. He was in the 89th percentile in total post frequency, the 99th percentile in post-up impact per 75. He was also, when you look, like I said before, at the screens, he was in the 99th percentile in roll-man possessions per 75 and the 99th percentile in team roll-man share. Only accounting for ball screens, Joel and his main 4 P&R partners, Harden, Maxey, Melton, and Milton, averaged 46 ball screens a game. Unfortunately, there's no official rankings anywhere, but if you are interested, you can go check out my most recent video where I do cover each team's individual players and which ball screens they're running with who. Now, to get back into it, the 76ers, I believe, primarily play Joel in a drop, which allows him to be the primary rim protector, which he is excellent at. He was in the 95th percentile in percentage of rim shots contested percentage. He was in the 94th percentile in rim contested per 75. He was in the 91st percentile in blocks per 75. He was in the 82nd percentile in screener mobile defense. He was in the 99th percentile in screener rim defense. And he was in the 99th percentile in help defense activity. The final aspect of Joel's game we'll take a look at is his playmaking, which he has steadily increased year after year. He was in the 88th percentile in drive assist pass percentage. He was in the 96th percentile in passing creation, and he was in the 97th percentile in box creation. Joel Embiid truly, and part of it is the weapons that have been surrounded with him, but Joel Embiid has truly advanced into, being a high-level playmaker who can make the skip pass, who can make the back cut pass that, the typical big man doesn't see. There's a lot of things that, you ask a big man to do and don't necessarily expect them to do the other things. Joel Embiid has learned and taken his time to learn the other things, and that has been beautiful. But that's all I got. A little deep dive, look at stats, chicken wraps.